or they're gonna cut it off as they always do. Boy, have I got a fun video for you guys this morning. Oh yeah, it's about the two most famous DJI drones. Unfortunately, these are not supposed to be the top or most famous DJI drones, but they have become that because they keep crashing. They keep crashing, and well, you know, like in publicity, there is no such thing as bad publicity, but you know, in the past, DJI didn't get that much attention, and that was because their drones pretty much never crashed. They were like fantastic, quiet, so basically very neighborhood friendly and capable and self-controlled, and just, you know, they do have the top engineers, they do have, you know, amazing funding and all that stuff. So it was really hard for them to go wrong because they weren't building this kind of drone. They were building this kind of drone, and these kinds of drones, like, they're so super amazing. Like, they fly so well, they're stabilized, and so yeah, you know, like, they did a pretty good job with their latest DJI Mini 3 Pro that comes with the cool controller and all that stuff. But basically, when it comes to making and entering the FPV world, they shot themselves in the foot. And it's not because they have, if they like made a lot of engineering flaws or anything like that, because again, if there's a company that can create the illusion of Hollywood Disney magic and bend physics to create things that are like absolutely impossible, it's definitely DJI. And they've come up, again, if you look at these things here, if you look at the design, they look great, and you would expect them to fly as well as they look, but they shot themselves in the foot. And here's why. Here's why they shot themselves in the foot. First of all, they went against pretty much everything that the pros and all these other people who have been flying FPV for, like, feels like forever. We're all telling them, okay, don't make drones the way that you're making drones. So the first drone that they made is this thing here, the FPV, DJI FPV. And basically what that was is a larger version of this drone, but then they decided to make it look like a potato. So they like stuck on a huge battery on top like this. And suddenly, like, this thing that was only supposed to be maybe like 250 grams or below, because a great deal of the drones are going to be lower than 250 grams. But they went with the higher end drones, the ones that can lift GoPros and stuff like that. And they thought, okay, we're going to make a drone that's like 800 grams. 800 grams, that's what, like almost, that's at least two cans of soup flying. So, I mean, what are you gonna do? What do you expect? You made something that looks like a potato. The weight's up here. It's clunky. It's heavy. It's, you know, you're making people do like turns and stuff because they're expecting them to be able to do and fly this thing like you would expect one of these little ones to fly, to do flips and rolls and amazing maneuvers and all that stuff, but it's just heavy and clunky. And so what that did was it created a whole generation of pilots who were overcorrecting themselves, right? If you have, at least, if physics still work the way that it used to in the past, the larger and heavier the object, the more it requires, like the more effort it requires to start a turn, and then the harder it takes, the more the motors need to work to stop that turn as it is being made, right? So you have all these people, right, with remote controls. Let me get a remote control real quick. And because you have something so big and heavy and fat like this, like a big potato, all the people that are remote controlling it are going fast, right? They're going fast because they're on this stick here, so they're going fast. And then instead of just doing like we usually would on a smaller drone, a lighter drone, just do a little bit of a flick on here to make that turn. Now what they're doing is they're going bam, and they're just slamming the remote like this to get the kind of performance they want from this like potato. They call it the potato these days. DJI FPV, the potato, because it's big and clunky. And so to make that turn, right, they're going really hard on the sticks, bam, and they're learning this very bad habit. And then it might have worked okay with the large FPV drone, which was 800 grams. But now what they've done is they've created the Avata, the Avatar. Here it goes. So after building this, the potato, they created the Avatar, aka Screech, codename Screech. So the problem with Screech is that unlike the first one that they made, which was a drone like this without prop guards, stuff like that. So they went and they created something that is more like this, but hello, they didn't do it like this with the propellers aiming up. They did it with the propellers aiming down like this. And then instead of a lot of these are cool drones because the battery on these kinds of drones goes underneath and it keeps the weight nice and balanced. So when they get up and down and they land and they do things in the air, the center of gravity usually is quite low and balanced. So, you know, whatever happens, the flight control does not need to do a whole lot of self-righting because the battery being like this underneath it holds true. Like if you have the battery this way, then it could flip more in this direction, but they have it like this on most of these drones. You have the Iron Quad, you have this one here, the Mob Light 7. So in the past, they made all these drones, and this one as well, where the battery is facing this way, like this. And it keeps it nice and relaxed and good. But on the Avatar, what they did is they put the battery up on top like this. And although the propellers are like this, they're facing downwards. So that causes all kinds of interesting things. So you have people now that were used to flying the potato, and doing those crazy maneuvers with the sticks and jamming the sticks just to get it turn and stuff like that. Now they're flying the Avatar. The Avatar is half the weight of the other one. So the one was like 800 grams. The Avatar is like 400 grams. So way lighter. And so although in a way it's still a little bit clunky like a potato, but the Screech, when you hit the sticks really hard and you do this, what Screech does is it turns really fast, but then the motors seem to not have enough power to be able to torque it back, and the flight controller gives out. So you're going really fast in this direction, and then, you know, the inexperienced pilots, what they like to do is slam that stick that way. So the drone will do this, it'll turn either all the way or partially, and it will go a little bit further than it should, and then the flight controller tries to correct itself to bring it back to center, but then it freaks out, and then it sort of does a little bit of a turn like this, and it just flies and flops right out of the air, and it slams to its doom underneath. Now, an experienced pilot, and I've seen this done over and over again, you have Drone Camps RC, so Justin Davis showed an example of this. There was Original Dobo, and a bunch of others that went out and they tested this out. And when they were flying it, they did not crash. Why? Because one, when they did these things with the Avatar, they were not very close to the ground. And the other thing is they have decent piloting skills, so they were able to sort of catch it before it would fall to the ground. But a lot of the other people that are inexperienced pilots, when the thing freaks out, they probably lose control of their left stick. They have no idea what to do to correct themselves. So this thing just flies out of the sky and goes plummeting to its doom. And so that's the end of the Avatar. So again, I think the problem was that DJI, and again, they have amazing skills, they have amazing funding, they're just a beautiful company, but they really shot themselves in the foot because when they made this drone, they taught people really bad habits, and then people thought that we were going to fly this drone the same way they were going to fly this drone, and that is leading to all kinds of crashes because this drone is designed to do a certain thing, and this one with prop guards and the way with their props being pushing down instead of up, and the battery not being in the middle underneath to hold the weight and stuff, centered. You know, it's just basically they've tried to bend physics to a point that really doesn't make sense, especially if you're trying to do things that the drone was not designed to do. Like those kinds of cinewhoops, they call these things cinewhoops, are designed to fly low to the ground, relaxed, to fly around the vehicles. Like if you're shooting beautiful shots of a plane or a car in a studio or whatever, or beautiful shots of people when they're acting and stuff like that. That's what this drone is meant to do, and people instead are just flying it up. They're going over 400 feet in the sky. They're trying to fly it like this, or like one of these drones, but much larger than this, that can hold a GoPro and stuff. And it's just not gonna work that way. So anyway, I thought it was kind of hilarious what they've done to themselves, because they really did shoot themselves in the foot with that. But there is an easy fix. And the fix is, I'm pretty sure that you can go inside the settings on this drone. And I don't own one of these drones because I'm not buying this drone. And the reason why I'm not buying this drone is because, just like all the other people who are like complaining to DJI, we wanted something that was under 250 grams because of all the crazy new laws that have been put in place. I'm not buying anything like this or like this because I just like all the stuff that is under 250. But anyway, the easy fix for this is you go inside the settings, and I think you can adjust the turning rate. I don't know if it's called the yaw rate or whatever it is. Just adjust it so that if you're a beginner and you don't know what you're doing with the sticks, if you hit that and you're still flying this as if it were that flying potato, then when you hit the stick all the way, just put it to 70. If you do that, the drone will not freak out at the end, and it won't go back into regular mode, because there's a thing set up in, not this drone here, but the Avata. The Avata has a self-fixing system that is supposed to save the drone in case the flight controller freaks out, whatever, and it goes from the acro mode back into assisted mode, as in the stability or the angle mode or whatever. So if you do that in adjusted rates in that way inside the thing, when you hit that remote really hard, as if you were playing with the potato, the DJI FPV, your thing won't freak out. It won't overturn, and then the flight control has to like overcorrect it to bring it back, and it won't just flop and fly out of the sky. So that's an easy fix, and I'm pretty sure that you guys can do this already. Maybe DJI will do that on their end. They could, because they're just obsessed with updates and stuff. Not as obsessed as Hubsan. Hubsan is the company that seems to be the one that is the most obsessed. It feels like there's a new update for the Hubsan Zeno SE, or the mini one, whatever, the one that I have. It feels like every time I turn on the drone, there's a new update for that. So DJI is pretty obsessed with updates, but not as much. Maybe they'll make one for the Avatar. It'll stop their avatars from flying out of the sky. But anyway, I thought I'd take the time to explain to you why DJI shot themselves in the foot with this latest. And again, there's a lot of envy from me, because I would love to fly this drone, but I'm not buying a drone that's over 250 because I don't personally feel like that's a good idea, especially with all the laws that are in place. I don't want to buy a drone like this or like this that turns into a brick and then I can't fly it anymore, as more people are starting to police these things. If I bought one of these and then I couldn't fly it, that would be like, you want a grown man to cry because they have a fantastic tool that they can't use, then just buy yourself one of these. Anyway, so basically right now, in a way, is both the worst and the best time to buy these. It's the best time because people haven't started really policing these things hard. So if you did buy it, you probably could still fly it under the radar if people didn't know what they were. But at the same time, I'm not comfortable with that, so I'm not buying either of these drones. I'm waiting for the Avata 2 to come out, which hopefully won't have the same issues. And, well, if it were up to me, but it's not up to me, and DJI doesn't listen to me or care about my opinion, but if they were to make a DJI Avata 2, they would base it on something like this or like this. And in my opinion, it would be better to have a buy prop rather than a try. And they went with a 5 prop. I mean, that's ridiculous. That's why it sounds like a screech. But anyway, if I was to make the latest DJI, I would make it like this drone here. Super quiet, very stable, easy to fly. You can still do flips and rolls on this thing, but it's not super crazy. And that's what I would do. You get a good fun time. It's got nice prop guards. It doesn't freak out. The flight controller is okay. And again, part of the reason why this works so well is because it's light. So DJI should find a way to do that and find a way to attach. They can make their proprietary batteries, whatever they want, but have it stick underneath so that your software engineers and stuff, the amount of engineering you need to do in order to get your drone, if this becomes the Avata 2, to make it stable is going to be less. And it'd be nice if they listened. And then Joshua Bartle is correct in saying that they do listen, and then they just stick it to their user base. They listen, they know what they should be doing, and then they do whatever they want. But anyway, if their objective was to create 2 really controversial drones and then create bad habits for pilots, that's one way to do it. They've successfully done that with the DJI Avata and the Potato. But anyway, again, that's why a lot of us in the drone community are like laughing our heads off. But at the same time, if you know how to fly this properly, because I've seen a lot of the experts fly this, you won't freak it out. It won't do that crazy thing, and it won't fall out of the sky. The reason why it does is because people are doing the wrong stuff, and the flight controller is just not able to handle that kind of stress, especially with the motors and stuff. You can't. The formula when you're building these things is a set thing, and you can't really bend physics to what's impossible on planet Earth. So I feel, again, I'm not a DJI hater at all. If anything, I'm a DJI lover who feels like I was like left out when they built these drones, because I can't fly either of them. And also, there's the coolest stuff that's just been jam-packed into this new Avata. Like, the camera is fantastic, and the things that you could do with this if it didn't screech like crazy would be fantastic. So I'm just hoping for the best, like waiting on the world to change, right? We keep on waiting on the world to change. So when the Avata 2 comes out and it's under 250 grams, I am very likely to pull the trigger on it, but not like this, and not at the price that this is coming out at. So again, as I said, but DJI is not going to listen to me. DJI should come out with a new pair of goggles that is not as incredibly expensive with whatever. Just make everything like half the price, and you're going to get pretty much all of the competition. I mean, you're going to get all the competition. Everybody's going to flock to the latest DJI Avata. Just make a new goggle set. It doesn't have to be HD, 4K, like 20K or whatever. Just make it so you have very fast latency on the goggle pictures and whatever. Just make it very good in that regard, and make it cheaper. And basically, they will steal away the whole market with the latest version of the Avata. But that's not what they wanted. They wanted to do too much, too fast, and which is fine. I think these things are flying off the shelves because more people are finding out about them. They know the new rules are coming in. that they're going to be policed soon. So they're just thinking this is the best time for them to go out and buy them and fly them, because very soon they won't be able to. So, and they think like they're going to break them anyway. So I don't know. I just don't know. If you're going to spend $1,500 on something like this, and then it just breaks the third or fourth time that you're out in the field, I don't know what that does. But anyway, so again, not a DJI hater. I'm a DJI lover. I love what they do. I love the engineers and the things that they're capable of doing, but they really shot themselves in the foot, as I said before, with this. And I'm hoping that in the future generations, they will actually listen to their pilots and experts. And not saying me. I'm not the top expert here, but there are some really amazing experts out there on YouTube and stuff that are explaining all these things. I'm just putting it together in one comprehensive video for you guys to understand. But anyway, that's all I got to say, guys. Here at the field, I'm going to go out and hopefully fly some of this small stuff that is neighborly friendly, quiet. And the majority of my drones, as I like to say, has good old prop guards and battery underneath, which makes it easy for beginners to fly, very stable. And that is what I'm going to go out and do for you guys in a few minutes. I'm going to do a live with that. And so thanks for watching this little video on the Avata. And just wishing you guys a happy Monday. Happy Monday. Take care, guys.